Here's how I use stem mastering to transform this mix into this master. In today's video, I'm going to show you how that entire process works, so let's get going. One of the services I provide is stem mastering, and that means that the artist, engineer, or producer is going to mix the track to the best of their capabilities and then stem it out into separate individual stems that I then import into my Pro Tools session, and then I use my analog tools over here, my monitoring and the digital tools in the box to take that track to the next level and get the most out of it. So today I'm going to show you how that entire process works, what I do analog gear wise, what I do in the box, how to get stuff loud, what I do referencing wise, and much more. So let's get going. Today I'm using the track Into the Night by Quincy Speelman, a fellow Dutch person. I have not heard this song, I haven't really done anything to it yet, so I'm super fresh, and that is exactly what I want to be with stem mastering, because for me stem mastering and any mastering is really having an unbiased opinion on what the mix is doing. So if the mix has too much high end, too much low end, it's not loud enough, it's got screaming mids, whatever, I need to be fresh and I need to instantly say like, okay, 2.5K is too much, there's too little 10K, there's too much 60 Hertz. I need to be as unbiased as possible, because that is what the entire mastering process is about. Okay, let's start by importing the stems. Normally I request up to 10 stems. I'll post them up here what they usually are, but you can have a variety of stems. It is a stem mastering, it's not a mix, so you cannot give me 58 stems. That's not how this works. But here there is 6 stems, and I think that's great. So we're going to copy that over. So it is in the folder, and then processing audio, my favorite part of the day. This is taking a really long time. A really long time. It's done. First thing we need to check, headroom. If we are using analog gear, I need that headroom, because otherwise this is just going to do things I do not want them to do. Okay, so as we can see over here, the individual tracks have plenty of headroom, but the folder doesn't really have enough for my liking, so I'm going to make a group over here with all the stems so I can pull all the faders down by 5 dB, and then we can work from there. Let's see how much headroom we're getting now. That's more like it. I do this with mixing as well. This is just really handy to have control over. What I might do actually is I might put a little bit of a limiter on here first. Now I've got the Limit 1 by Leapwing, which I like a lot, and I reached out to them because I like them a lot, and I was like, hey, I want to be making a stem mastering video. Do you guys want to sponsor this video? And they said, yes, we want to sponsor this video. So today's video is sponsored by Leapwing. I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't think Leapwing made amazing plugins, and if Limit 1 wasn't one of them. I absolutely love what they do. They're great guys, and I am really glad to have them on board. So let's run the track through Leapwing for a second, then I'll commit it, and then I can put it into the adapter metric AB, because the track in adapter metric AB is -14 LUFS. Now, whatever I'm going to do, once I limit it, I am going to win. And I don't want to make this too easy on myself. We need to get the most out of this track, because in a playlist later on, this needs to sound equally great, if not greater, than everything else that lives on that playlist. That's what we're competing with. We're not competing with this non-limited mix. So it's important to me that I give myself a realistic type of competition from the get-go, so I'm getting the most out of this stem mastering process as possible. I first want to take the ceiling down to -0.2. This is what I'll be doing later on the folder track as well. and then we can drive into the ceiling of that limit 1. That is 2 dB. Can we push it even more? It has a built-in clipper, so we can clip the transients a little bit. Let's see what that does for us. I think around 30 is a great spot. See what the stereo link does. Is that going to make our stereo image more focused? I think that gives us a little bit more focus, and let's see what tilt is doing for us. So there's a lot more gain reduction happening when the tilt is all the way to the right, and when the tilt is all the way to the left, it's a lot less. I'm also not really hearing an EQ shift, so what I think the tilt is doing is that it changes the EQ curve on the side chain of the limit 1. So this is probably tilting it more that way, that we're getting more low end, hence the more gain reduction. And this is doing the opposite, hence less gain reduction. Let's commit that. Okay, so we are at -10 LUFS on the reference. I've got the mix from Quincy right here in metric AB, so I can later on switch back and forth. I always begin the stem mastering process on this folder on my mix bus, because I first want to get it to a level as if I was mastering it as a normal stereo mastering, and then I want to dive into the individual tracks to see how I can impact every stem to make the entire thing sound nicer, wider, bigger, louder, more impactful, all of that stuff. So let's first dial in the limit 1 just roughly, -0.2, then a drive of a little bit more, I think, because we gained a little bit of headroom. Do this a little bit more conservative, because we've still got the entire track to build. Let's see, I would love to get some of my analog gear in here. What this can do. I think I'm going to set this to the mid-side setting, because normally I do mid-side saturation with the black box, but maybe now the Carnaby can actually do that, because it is a harmonic EQ, so it is EQing with saturation. This is going to be the side channel, and this is going to be the mid channel. So let's see what that can do for us. Could be that it's a little bit too bright. We'll have to check with the reference if it is going to be too bright or not. He sent me a couple. Yeah, in terms of brightness, we're definitely getting in the area. Maybe our track is a little bit too harsh somewhere, so we can use some subtractive EQ to get that tone down a little bit. In terms of low end, we do need to push it up a little bit. Yeah, we need to push up the low end a little. So let's see what we can do to the bass to make it a little bit less muddy and a little bit more powerful. See if we drive the line gains. Next thing I want to do is use the SSL for that kick. See what that is going to give us. So take EQ and compression out of it. Put the faders on 0 over here. Not clipping yet. Nope, that's too much for me. Just do a little bit. See what the compressor does. I like the top end. I don't know if I like the low end though. Let's take off the compression of the SSL channels. We'll just use the channel, a little bit of that saturation in the channel and the EQ to enhance that sound a little bit. Quickly have a look at limit 1, what it's doing. Every once in a while I go back to limit 1 to see if it is actually doing too much or if it's still in like the 2 dB gain reduction ballpark I want it to be in. I do the same for my hardware gear, but my hardware gear is right here and it's still doing like 2 or 3 dB gain reduction. That also looks good. For this horn section, I really wish I had a V-comp in stereo, because I think that would be a great combination, great match for that. Let's do Take a Look Cram for this one, and then we can do the SSL for the keys and guitar sample. Let's see what works. Maybe that doesn't work, maybe we need to switch it around, but that is what my starting point would be. Okay, let's take this down to 0 again. Add a little bit of body. Need to deal with the harshness with the Pro Q3. Seven and 8 over here. Let's not do compression, just EQ. just in solo to check what it's doing. See out of solo what that does. Okay, let's take the attack back, open it up a little bit because it was on 3 milliseconds and maybe that's just a little too tight. See what 30 does. See if we do comp and then EQ. Okay, I think it's better to do compressor and then EQ instead of the EQ then compressor I had. Okay, so by shifting the tilt to the left on the limit 1, I can actually open up the track a little bit and it's not as squashing as it was. Okay, what would happen if I would use a clipper on here, knocking down a tiny bit of that. Soft Clip Pro maybe. Could we get the limit 1 a little bit louder? Yeah, maybe we could get an extra dB out of the limit 1 then. Okay, small speakers. Mix to mobile. Okay, so here's how I use mix to mobile when I'm mixing or mastering. I send the output of my mix to mix to mobile that plays it on my phone, and then I just hold my phone in my hand with my thumb on here as if I'm scrolling through Instagram, because over time with all my scrolling through Instagram, and I do a lot of scrolling through Instagram, my thumb and the rest of my hand have made like a blueprint reference of what a song should feel like in my hand. So that is what I am judging by doing this. Am I feeling the low end enough in my phone? And also, is it present enough? Am I hearing enough stuff coming through that phone speaker? So I like it. Okay, where's my headphones? Then I want to check this on my headphones. Okay, then the next thing we want to check is if this is mono compatible enough. And I'm saying enough because completely mono compatible means it's mono. So we just need to make sure that there's no critical elements going missing when it is being summed to mono. Because in a club or in a gym or in a little Bluetooth speaker, this might be played back in mono. And if it does, we just need to make sure that all the elements are still there and the track is still the track. If we are all of a sudden missing the saxophone or the guitar, then this entire track has a completely different feel. So we need to make sure that it is not losing any crucial element. I am feeling that I'm losing a little bit of definition, and like obviously it's going wider and brighter on the sides, but I am not losing any of the core elements. So for me, this has passed the mono compatibility check. So I might even think we are done. It has a little bit more presence, it has a little bit more punch, it's louder, it's wider, it's bigger. I think I'm happy with this. The next step I need to do right now is commit everything, because everything is now going through the analog hardware, and I can of course not keep every setting exactly the same, because then I might as well have all these pieces of gear somewhere else in the machine room and never touch them again. I need them for the next mix and master I'll do later on, so I need to commit everything.
What is jazz? I mean, we say it's America's gift in the art form.
So I'm going to print this and send this off to Quincy, and then we're about to hear if he likes this or if he thinks I butchered his track. Thanks so much for watching this video, and thanks a lot to Leapwing Audio for sponsoring today's video and making an amazing plugin called The Limit 1. Go check it out. I'll link down below to their website, and then you can check out their plugins. They've got many more amazing plugins over there. If you want to learn more about recording, mixing, mastering, studio stuff in general, there is a join button down below that you can click, and then you'll get to the Virtual Internship. Over there you'll find an exclusive collection of members only videos on my processes in recording, in mixing, in mastering. There you'll also find a link to an exclusive WhatsApp group with all the virtual interns, my team members, and myself. So if you ever have an issue, a question, whatever, you can just text me on WhatsApp, and we'll, together with the entire group, we'll figure out how to make your stuff work. I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on another video. Later!